Here's one hack on how to level up as an entrepreneur. Let's begin. If you're looking to level up as an entrepreneur and you're looking at all the strategies and tactics and trying to find your way and get that break, well, I have news for you. Your strategies and tactics will only take you so far, but not to the level of where you expect to be. And especially not as fast as you can ever hope. When I started out, I was looking for all the strategies and tactics and trying this, trying that. Like I was also overwhelmed by information. There's so many of them. But then I wasn't getting my break. At the beginning, I couldn't even monetize. I didn't understand what the problem was. But when I found out through experience that this one thing can change everything, can change your entire game. Before I share this with you, I just want to say, think about your life. We are all born into some kind of world with some kind of caretakers, right? That our society and our caretakers and our environment and the cards that we were dealt forced a belief system into our life and preconceived notions that are very, very hard to change. So how can we change that? How can we break through into what we want to create in this world? Because that limiting belief system, those preconceived notions, that limitation of where we come from sometimes is a glass ceiling that we need to break in order to get to where we want to get. Do you understand what I'm saying? So imagine that if you have this glass ceiling and you want to get somewhere above that glass ceiling, you really can't. You can look at all the people that have, but you really can't because you're stuck. You're stuck in some world that was created for you. But this world is not external, it's internal. So get this, here's the hack. Are you ready? In order to level up your game and really crush any limitations, you have to work on and build your character. That's it. But wait, it's not that simple, right? So let's get into what building your character actually is. It's about the inner work. Everybody's talking about the metaverse these days. But what's really important and what's really not talked about is the inner verse. And that's what I want to talk to you guys about. Now, the word character, do you know where it comes from? It comes from the actual tool chisel, to chisel away at something. And to chisel away, meaning that the same thing that sculptors use to create those amazing sculptures that you see in museums. That's exactly it, chisel. So a chiseling process is a very careful, delicate process, but very intentional. And sometimes we gotta use force, and sometimes we gotta chisel very delicately. We don't want to chisel away too much, but it's an intentional process. And we can do that with ourselves. But how do we do that? So here are a couple things that I found from my experience, and I'm gonna give you also some very practical tips at the end on how to actually start. Sounds good? All right, so number one is work on your integrity. A lot of people say and claim they're great people, then they cut off people on the road and they do all kinds of like stuff which is like in the micro, but here's the thing, your life is led by your micro decisions. Your micro decisions is what really matters in the day to day. So work on your integrity and work on being the number one human being that you can be. Work on your emotional state management. Now this is very important. Listen, it comes up to the kind of like mysticism or spiritual side, but it's very practical and scientific. So we don't control the feelings once they happen, once they're there. We don't control them. And we don't control anything that external that just happened to us. We don't control those as well. The only thing that we can control is our neural networks, the things inside our mind, right? Inside our head, which actually is a scientific thing. So it's not the mind, it's the brain, right? So we can control our thoughts about things and our judgment of things that are happening. When you let go of all the interpretation, when you look at the things objectively, that's also mindfulness. But basically, that's where you need to be. So when it comes to emotional state management, think about it this way. Some people go about their day on a negative emotional kind of wave, right? Negative emotional wave, low emotional wave, let's call it, right? Some people are very high, you know, all these people that are enthusiastic and always like happy and stuff, they're on a high emotional state, right? And some people are in the middle, and all of us go up and down depending on what happens. We're all humans, right? But think about it this way. If you can elevate your emotional state to be more higher usually on your average than lower, then as soon as you increase that, you're going to attract so much more into your life. The rooms that you're just coming into will all of a sudden radiate energy and your opportunities will be attracted to you. Everybody would want to do business with you. Everybody would want to hear what you have to say, and you'll be more convincing. You'll have more influence in business environments and in your family, and that's when you only elevate your emotional state. And emotional state management is hard because sometimes people around us are just negative. We can say, oh my God, like this person doesn't understand, and we can get frustrated with that. But we shouldn't. We should basically say, okay, feelings don't matter at this point. Professionality matters, and I should even have high emotional state to be in a higher frequency, and therefore just enjoy life more, be more happy, and it can come from within. It doesn't have to come from outside at all. All right, so let's continue. Work on faith. And faith is a habit as far as I care. I mean, for me, faith was not there so much, and you have to have faith. If you want to be an entrepreneur, you got to work on your faith. And yes, that means a bit of spirituality in the mix, because you know what? You got to have faith that everything will turn out for the better. And not having faith is meaning basically to be in fear a lot of the times, especially as an entrepreneur, work out of kind of like, I'm not sure if I need it. Well, here's the thing. If you want something, you got to be sure and intentional about it, and you just got to be very sharp about what you want from the universe, from the world, and from people. And if you're not going to get anything. So if you believe in the law of attraction, even just a little bit, or if you're a spiritual person, you believe in God, just believe God has you, the universe has you, everything is okay, you're guided. Work on faith. Faith is the evidence of things hoped for and things not seen. It's crazy how that works. All right, so work on your faith. One last thing about faith, there's Hal Elrod, and he has the miracle equation, and I talk about Hal Elrod a lot because he's an influence on my life. And he had cancer, and he got out of it. He has a very successful business. But Hal Elrod wrote a book called The Miracle Equation. And in that book, he says, to really see miracles happen in your life and business, you really just got to have tremendous amount of faith over a long period of time, combined with hard work. And that way, you'll see magic happen. Last thing before we get to the practice. Last thing is basically to work on your limiting beliefs, to crush your limiting beliefs. How can you do that? Well, first of all, you got to identify when limiting beliefs come, but it's not always that simple. So what you need to do is an intentional process of affirmations, but that's the first part of affirmations. Affirmation is step number 1. And if you want, you can also download our app, Affirmations & Co. Search it in the App Store or Google Play, and you can just get it for free. It's a free app. It lets you write down your affirmations. You can even follow me on the app and tap into my affirmation. Just one tap and you add my affirmations to your affirmations. That easy. So go download the app, search for Sagi Schwabers, tap into some affirmation, write your own affirmations. Now, when you write affirmations, you should think about, what do I want to get done in this world? What are my goals? What are my dreams? Write those down. You can write whatever you want regarding any goal you have. And then when you read it, think about what limiting beliefs pop up regarding that affirmation. If you read an affirmation enough times and long enough, it will usually work. But sometimes limiting beliefs prevent us, in the subconscious mind, prevent us from basically achieving that. So if you are reading an affirmation, then you're saying to yourself, what am I trying to do? Think about, okay, why are you saying that to yourself now? Why are you not believing in what you just wrote down? Okay, so now you're going into a process of limiting beliefs. Take those limiting beliefs, put them on trial, and get rid of them. Put them on trial immediately, bit by bit, day after day. You have to practice it. It's a practice, and it's chiseling away, developing that structure, that sculpture, that amazing sculpture. And eventually you will be an amazing character, and that characteristic of yours will just take you to places you've never even believed possible, because that's what you develop. That's what you now radiate. That's what you believe. It's your reality that changes around you, but it all came from within. So remember that, and here are now a couple practices. Number 1, work on your affirmations with Affirmations & Co. I already said that, but it's important. Work on your affirmations with tools that you can use. Number 2, I would say, in order to work on your integrity is matching your values with your actions, but it's also kind of also like, I'm going to do what I'm saying I'm going to do. So if you say you're going to do something, then you do it. So I would really recommend, something really helped me start this whole journey, is 75 Hard. 75 Hard is a challenge by Andy Frisella, and I got some videos explaining about that, so you can go back on my YouTube channel and watch the videos that explain about 75 Hard and whatnot. But it was a hell of a challenge. If you do that challenge, it will get you to where you need to be, also mentally, also fitness-wise, but most importantly, it's your character. You build an amazing character while doing 75 Hard, and it really adds up and starts kind of like cultivating your unshakable character, which leads me to my next practical thing. Read the book by Jim Rohn called Cultivating an Unshakable Character. It's an amazing book. I really recommend it. I was only exposed to it only after I finished 75 Hard and all that, but it's such a true, amazing book that I really recommend all of you should read. So next time you do anything, think about any action that you do and say, am I in integrity? Am I aligned with my values? Am I working out of strength, out of courage, not out of fear? By the way, anything you do in life, either you do it out of courage or out of fear. Remember, do things out of courage, out of love, not out of fear. Cool? Sound good? Alright, so I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you got some practice. 75 Hard, affirmations and code, those two very strong things that I really recommend to do. Read Cultivating an Unshakable Character by Jim Rohn. You can do it while doing 75 Hard because part of the challenge is actually to read a book. And you can also just be sure to do anything that regards your inner work. Make time in your calendar. Just do it. Just go for it. Alright? Sound good? Have an amazing rest of the day. And I'll see you on the next video episode, wherever you're watching or listening to this. Alright? Now, just want to make sure that you rate this show if you found it useful. Rate, like, comments. Comments go a long way with the algorithm. Please be sure to comment. Please be sure to pass it to someone that needs this. Please share it on your social publicly if you can. We want to get the show off the ground and we need your help. So I want to know you're here. I would love your help and support. And you can rate us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. That would go a long way as well. Please, that's your way of saying thank you. And I thank you for being here. Have an amazing day. Peace. Hey guys, what's up? Sagi here. I hope you enjoyed this episode that's brought to you by Affirmations & Co., the app for affirmations. If you want to change your life, if you want to crush limiting beliefs, if you want to change your inner chatter, you need affirmations. I use affirmations on a daily basis, and that's why I created this app. In the app, you can set reminders to have your affirmations sent to you via push notifications. In the app, you can set widgets on your iPhone or Android device. In the app, you can follow me and other creators and entrepreneurs. And basically, you can see my affirmations, and with one tap, you make them your own. Let's build with each other. Let's build on top of each other and help each other grow together. So get Affirmations & Co. You can go to affirmations.co. You'll have the download links, or just go to your favorite app store and search for Affirmations & Co. All right, guys, thank you so much, and see you in the next episode.